tried to use CPR. It was too late.
The fact that more children, more teenagers have died of prescription drug overdoses than car accidents. And first time in history, unprecedented.
Just think that it's a bad dream. You know, he's got a cool walking around, you're walking in. Sorry.
By the time he was a senior, he was a full-blown opiate addict.
He knew that he needed help. I went down with him, started him on Suboxone, watched him, made him keep like a journal of how he was, had a lockbox. First, the drugs were supposed to be here. You know, like I was supposed to have the key to his medication. I was supposed to give him his medication each day. It's like, come on, Mom. And what did I do? I was like, okay, fine. You know, whatever. You know, here's your pills for, oh, well, I'm not going to be home for a couple days, so I need 6. What's he doing? Selling them. We're selling his own drugs. You know, I mean, we're getting, $10 a pill for those. You know, hey, he needed gas money or he needed food money and whatever. And he just fell right back into it again.
The thing that I found was in Zach's own handwriting in his journals was the one thing he wrote, which was flabbergasting to me, that he said, the greatest thing about Lortabs is that nobody knows when you're on them. And he's correct, because he would come in the house sometimes and I'd go up and talk to him, look at him in the eye, and I know he was high, but there's no smell, their eyes aren't red, they're not stammering with their words or anything, he's not swaying or anything, but I know he was high. He wasn't the same personality of the person as when he left.
He basically bombed out at ECC. Lied to us about his grades. Bombed out horribly. He was telling us he was going to class. He had a car to go to class, or I would go pick him up, or whatever, or he'd be getting a ride, and he didn't go. You know, he's probably down in the city.
And he was extremely gifted, and it's just such a sad loss. The morning they called, it was about 6 o'clock in the morning, and the Hammer Police Department called and said, get to Mercy Hospital. And we knew something was up, and we were both terrified. We jumped out of bed, got in the car, and we prayed Hail Mary the whole ride to the hospital. And,
I thought he was in an accident or something. And we got there and he was already gone. They put us in a room. And told us we had to wait there. And I watched too many TV shows to know that there had to be something to that. And then the doctor came in. Then he told us to bring the prescriptions. So I brought a bag of prescriptions out of his room. And the doctor sat down and he said, I tried for an hour to work on him. And he said, he goes, he was so young, and he said, we tried for an hour and we couldn't get him back. And I just picked up that bag of prescriptions, and I looked at myself. I just threw them at the doctor, and I just told him, I said, it's because of you. I said, it's because of you doctors. I said that my son's not here. And they took us into the room, and we sat with Zach there for a long time. And he was just laying there. Oh, it was horrible. He had blood coming out of his nose. And he had a sheet up over him. And it just seemed like he should wake up. I just kept wiping the blood away from his nose. And it's just unreal. It just doesn't make sense. How can he be gone?
And when they told us, we just fell apart. It was the most horrible, horrible feeling and the worst day of my entire life, and my wife's as well. And nothing wanted to be the same. I lost my son. And nothing can bring him back. The thing is, though, this does not have to happen to somebody else's child. This is totally preventable. It's too many prescription drugs out there. Too many prescribed. Too easy to get. There has to be something done to stop this.
We found out in March, one of his best friend had called me and said he has a problem, and I said, no way, he doesn't have a problem. And I'm like, I'm a nurse, I would know that. You know, his eyes aren't glassy, his mannerisms are no different, there's no way. So I asked him, I said, are you chasing the dragon? And his eyes lit up, and he rolled over and said, how do you know about that? And I said, I'm not stupid, I have some street smarts. And he said, somebody told you. And I said, well, it doesn't matter. And I left his room, and then he came back in and he just opened up. He just told me everything. He said, I do need help. He said to me, Mom, before I knew what I had even gotten involved with, it was when I realized that I was addicted to it.
And so disciplined and wrestling, I just cannot believe that somebody like that could become that addicted and need a drug so bad. When we first found out, it was like, Brandon, you've gone through so much. You can kick this, and he says, I know, and he says, I'll do it. And it was that attitude the whole way through, and then finally he needed help. He admitted he needed help, and we tried to help him. But that craving, the drug just was too strong. I can't imagine what he was going through. He probably had so much guilt because he was trying to hide so much. He just could not get away from it. Something that stuff does to your brain, and that's all you want. You have tunnel vision, and you can't see anything else around you when you want that stuff.
So then weeks went by, and he was going to his sessions. He even asked a friend to start taking him to NA. He got a sponsor through NA. So on his own, he was going 5 days a week to counseling. He was going 2 nights a week to NA. And he said, Mom, I think we should go to church as a family. I think that would be helpful.
He had never heard of this stuff 4 or 5 years ago, or I never heard of it. It may have been around, but it's just so accessible nowadays that we talked to one of the kids that at the time was kicked the habit, and we said, where do you get this stuff? And he says, you give me $15 in 15 minutes in any city in the world, and I'll find it for you. And he said, that's how available it is, and somebody that wants it will find it.
I get a craving, and it's like just a vision. That's all I can think of is, I need it, I need it, I need it. And then I have my setback, and then I can focus again. And then if I say, okay, I'm going cold turkey, and it's just the same thing over and over, so it would constantly, it was like a choke collar, just dragging him down every single time that he would try to quit. So the last memory I have of him alive is he stood over there, and he said, I said to him, Brandon, when he said, I just, this is so hard for us, or so hard for me, I don't know how to go on or how to make this better, and you guys had no idea what I'm going through. And I said, Brandon, then you have to tell us. We need to know what you're going through. And I said, because we love you. And John had said the same thing, and he said, I know you guys love me, and I love you too. And he went into his bedroom to play video games. And the next thing is John and I fell asleep on the couch. We thought we both had heard something. I don't know what it was that we heard. Perhaps the last breath. We thought it was him playing the video game, making noise, playing the video game
killing themselves. All I know is I miss him. I just miss him so much. And all I have is a box with his ashes.
Wish it didn't end this quick. He had so many accomplishments and so much ahead of him.